Alien Treason.
Chapter 1. Trouble in Paradise. What is the reason why aliens would be interested in Earth and in humans? Agal, crown world of the Agals, a dazzling jewel nestled within the radiant arms of the Andaran galaxy. Here, glass citadels floated serenely like colossal zeppelins, each structure the height of mountains, adrift above endless rivers of silver clouds. Neon ribbons of traffic wove intricate patterns through pristine skies, while far below, tireless robotic fleets pulverized entire mountain ranges, extracting ore for an ever-hungry civilization. At the blazing heart of this magnificent empire stood the House of Za, three royal siblings bound not only by blood, but also by ruthless ambition. Za, eldest and most feared, seen by many as a dictator who ruled through cold efficiency, favoring power above compassion. Ra, youngest of the princes, beloved by the people, charismatic enough to ignite rebellions and skilled enough to seize the throne. And at their center, the middle sibling, Va, chief scientist, a biochemist of such breathtaking brilliance that entire research institutes orbited his laboratory like satellites circling a planet. Generations before their reign, in a remote village at the empire's edge, stood a grove of strange, seedless trees. Charcoal-black trunks, branches empty and barren for centuries, had been dismissed as mere ornamental oddities. Until, on one astonishing dawn, a village elder spied 5 amber fruits glowing like embers among the leaves. Driven by curiosity, he tasted the fruit and saw in his reflection a miracle. The wrinkles ceased to deepen, his aging halted, and youth subtly returned. News of the miraculous fruit spread swiftly across valleys and continents. One bite offered a lifetime's reset, a single taste capable of centuries of renewed life. However, this orchard ripened only once in an age. Its fruits bore no seeds. To share the miracle meant uprooting and transplanting entire trees, carefully preserving their roots, soil, and delicate symbiotic fungi in enormous mobile cradles. Those first ageless villagers, now masters of immortality, outlived every rival and steadily amassed influence and power. Century after century, their bloodline ascended, solidifying itself into royalty. The House of Za was born from those humble villagers who first tasted eternal youth. Yet immortality fractured their unity. Za hoarded the fruits, distributing the gift of endless life only to society's elite. Ra, the people's champion, led a silent rebellion within the palace, eventually seizing the throne with promises of equal access for all Agals. But this gift was poisoned. One bite granted centuries, but stole fertility. Natural births dwindled, forcing Agal society into a future defined by cloning. Yet even clones, grown meticulously in labs, were cherished by their parents as fully as any child born from the cradle. Then, catastrophe shattered their illusion of eternal abundance. First, the silent orchard's fruit yield abruptly fell by half. Second, royal accountants delivered chilling news. At current consumption, the vaults held barely 4 more cycles of the precious fruit. For the first time, Paradise was forced to hear the ticking clock of mortality. It was into this delicate moment in history that Zuva emerged. Zuva, clone son of Prince Va, was groomed from embryonic inception to inherit the mantle of royal science. But Zuva had no intention of following the careful footsteps prepared for him. Brilliant yet impatient, driven by an insatiable curiosity deemed reckless by his peers, He chose the controversial specialty of consciousness transfer, a field Agal scholars scorned as foolish fantasy, even dangerous heresy. His unconventional methods and disregard for protocol earned him widespread resentment. He routinely bypassed security, hacked secure systems for amusement, solved complex planetary engineering issues on mere whims, and, most irritating of all, frequently neglected paperwork. Despite widespread disdain, none could deny his genius. Time after time, Zuva contributed insights so groundbreaking that even his harshest critics begrudgingly admitted his brilliance. Rumors swirled ceaselessly in the ivory towers and glass citadels. Whispers claimed that Zuva secretly transferred his consciousness into lower species, experiencing different forms of existence, each illicit transfer leaving him slightly more unpredictable, more dangerously adventurous. He laughed quicker, gambled harder, and emanated an air of strange otherness that unsettled everyone around him. Yet when disaster loomed and every known approach failed, even those who despised him secretly hoped the notorious mind skimmer would swagger in, flash his signature lopsided grin, and effortlessly rewrite impossible equations into elegant solutions. During one fateful midnight war council, Zuva leaned forward, his voice steady, eyes bright with forbidden calculations. "What if the trees are sentient?" he asked the stunned council. "What if they require a new home, somewhere purer, more natural? Uproot an entire titan, carry it to virgin soil, and simply listen." An immediate uproar filled the chamber. Many opposed the idea vehemently, condemning the monstrous logistics, terrified of exposing their most treasured resource to potential enemy attacks. But King Ra, faced with extinction, and knowing that every conceivable approach had failed, soil alchemy, orbital mirrors, genetic manipulation, finally approved the daring experiment. The task of locating a suitable world fell to Captain Atka, whose mining fleet had recently tagged a promising system, a red, metal-rich world orbiting a stable yellow star. A neighboring planet teemed with primitive life, its dominant mammals still chipping flint, fearing thunder, blissfully unaware that someday they'd call their blue marble Earth. Cargo Bay 4 aboard Atkar's flagship Arc-Seed 1 was transformed into a cryo-terrarium. Within its stasis fields rested the orchard's living core, roots, soil, and symbiotic organisms pulsing gently, captured like a beating heart frozen in time. Zuva took command of this pivotal xenobotany mission. His father, Prince Va, remained behind on Aga to safeguard critical data streams secretly burdened with dread. For Va knew if tragedy struck and he himself fell, Zuva would remain the sole mind capable of carrying forth the legacy of their family's unparalleled scientific brilliance. Succession had never felt so precarious. Thus began the gamble. A precious seedless tree of immortality, cradled in silver, streaking toward an unsuspecting primitive world. A clone prince burdened by the hopes and anxieties of an entire civilization, and a royal father left behind, struggling silently with the fear of losing all he held dear. Far beyond our orbit, deep in the silent darkness, stasis alarms chimed gently, engines ignited, and paradise itself, quite literally, took flight toward a new destiny.